starting up with Chapter 5. So on our previous chapter, our heroes infiltrated the woods, snuck through, dealt with a couple of goblins there, and then assaulted the position of the catapult, and successfully dispatched the people that were manning it, and then fired a single shot towards the hill that had the spellcasters on it, allowing Lord Lorentz to lead the charge and take out the attacking forces. Now, Tarnish had mentioned that he was interested in the mushroom that had released the spores. What would you like to do with the mushroom there?
I'd like to go over and collect like the blinding spores, and I guess are there other similar mushrooms in this area, or is it just kind of that one?
Just one large mushroom that's about the size of you yourself. And so, if you want to go ahead and do that harvesting,
yeah.
Make it a dexterity check.
Okay, just straight dexterity.
Yeah.
Okay, that's.
It won't be super difficult.
2. So -2 for a d20 roll.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 2.
Okay.
So you got a 0.
Yeah. Basically, what we're going to interpret that as is you get up there and you start messing with it, and unfortunately, the only little bit of spores that are left, you keep knocking them off and they fall to the ground and sort of get in the dirt and stuff, so you're not able to separate them. Savina, would you make a perception check for me?
0.
Okay. Then you don't perceive anything there. So that's basically what you're able to do with the spores. You could always come check back in a few days just to see if more of these mushrooms have popped up, things like that.
In my little field notebook I've been carrying, I'm just gonna like write down descriptions of this mushroom in case I see something similar in other parts of the Twisted Land. Maybe I can recognize it more easily.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, and then as you guys are doing this, Lord Lorentz rides up and sort of congratulates you guys on a successful mission, and he says, we're going to enter, the fort. You'll need to talk to the quartermaster in order to get assigned where you're going to, where your rooms will be. You'll need to talk to the stable master as far as getting your horses taken care of. There are 4 bunkhouses, and there's 3 stables to choose from. So then he says that then he's going to ask, when you were traveling through the woods, when you were sneaking through the woods, did you see the heads on poles?
We did. We thought that was your doing.
No. He says that he hasn't been back to the fort, in about a year, and so he's now just, coming to take over. And he says, the winters here can get dark, and that darkness can creep into your heart. But it's spring now, and I mean to make some changes when we take over, when the shift change comes. We're going to bring the light back to this fort.
When you say darkness can creep into your heart, do you mean that metaphorically, or is that something the Twisted Lands can actually do to people?
Yeah, it's something that the Twisted Lands can actually do to people.
Oh,
one of the reasons that one of the main reasons that we rotate so frequently is to prevent that. The longer you're out here, the more chance you have to be corrupted, to sort of fall into a deep despair about the world, and do sort of dark things like putting heads on spikes to deter invaders. That's not the type of lord that I want to be. I want to be someone who reaches out to the people out here and is conscious of what they need and what we're doing, and who negotiates rather than burns villages to the ground or something.
Well, Tarnish is like going to not say anything, but kind of like that's conflicting information to the person that we met earlier who lived in the Twisted Lands and says, it doesn't necessarily make you evil and corrupt. So I think maybe could I make an insight check to see if he's trying to
Sure.
persuade us into believing that the Twisted Lands is a certain way or something like that?
Sure.
Okay. 9.
9. Yeah, you don't really know one way or the other. At this point, he seems very earnest in what he's saying, so he at least believes, what he's saying. Whether or not what he's saying is ultimately true, he believes that this is a corrupting place that will potentially make the darker side of your soul come out.
Unfortunately, Nerd's wisdom's not going to serve him well here. He looks at Lorentz and says, "We had heard that you had burned a village outside of this area to the ground."
That was not something that I did. That was something that one of my predecessors, Lord Xotchi, is accused of doing. We'll talk more of that. Once you get settled, come by my office in the command center. There's some things that I would like to discuss with you, and some of these activities of Lord Xotchi are some of the things we'll need to discuss. But for now, we'll head into the fort. You guys get situated, get something to eat, get refreshed, and then come by the command center and we'll discuss more.
See, I told you he was honorable.
All right, I suppose for now we can trust him as we're walking away.
Why would he be dishonest with us?
He did seem quite surprised coming out of the forest, so...
But if he was involved in burning the village to the ground, would he tell us he burned the village to the ground?
Why wouldn't he? His predecessor has already been caught and pinned with the crime.
Nerd.
Was he pinned? Or accused?
I'm sorry. It is a way of saying he was accused.
I need a drink. Let's get in town.
Let's get a drink.
Okay. So you guys, so the procession goes through into the town. You enter the main gate. The people who are already here, cheering. They're happy that that you have arrived and broken the attack. And as several different people start coming up and welcoming Lord Lorentz, coming down from the up here, this woman comes down and sort of frostily welcomes him. You can tell that there's sort of a history between these two, and they don't really get along. And then Lord Lorentz sort of points out a couple of people. He points out the quartermaster. He says that's that squirrel, sort of half squirrel, half gnome, named Tensor Hobblebottom is the quartermaster. That's who you're going to see about your where you're going to stay. And then the stable master.
So that's a gnome who's been affected by the Twisted Lands and now has the traits of a squirrel, or is
Yep.
it? Okay.
I mean, you can ask him. Maybe he was a squirrel all along. This is what he looks like.
He was a squirrel that became a gnome.
Oh, it's so cute.
Yes. He,
I will be talking to Tensor Hobblebottom at some point.
So yeah, so
Tensor or Tensor?
he's sort of half squirrel, Tensor, Tensor.
Tensor. Okay.
Got it. Hobblebottom.
Hobblebottom.
And then where's my... Okay.
A squome.
And the stable master is this green dragonborn guy here. And his name, I just had a second name, is Warren Tuttle. He is a very... And so those are the two people that Lord Lorentz points out that you should talk to as far as getting situated. So do you want to situate your horses first, or do you want to get your quarters first?
Should probably deal with the horses.
Yeah, let's go take care of our horses first.
Right. So you go up to our green dragonborn there, and he has a couple of stable hands with him, ready to go. They're escorting people's horses off, and he says, do you know where you're going to be staying yet? We can put your horses in. Not yet? Okay.
No.
No
Well, we'll
idea.
keep them here at the main gate, and then if you decide you want them moved over to the red gate or the yellow gate, you let us know, and we can do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
So they take the horses into the stable and start rubbing them down and taking off their gear and getting them situated.
Good horses they were. Very quiet.
I'm glad we didn't have to eat them on the way here.
Why would we have to
Eat them.
I mean, if we would have gotten stranded, I
We
mean,
brought provisions with us.
you never know.
We know how to-
always be prepared.
Oh, nerd.
I wonder how they felt when I turned into a horse. Huh.
Anyway,
Okay, and so the quartermaster is there and asks you, do you have any preference on where you're staying? We have 4 different places, sort of lodgings. There's one here, there's one here, here, and then over here. If you're going to be in the sort of the artificer area, this is where all of the sort of crafting stations are. You might want to be on this side. The little building over there that has housing in it is right next to the theater. So if you are fans of the theater, you could, that could be beneficial. It's also closer to the food court area, the corner with the food. So you have, you can choose wherever you'd like to live. If you guys want to, all live in the same place, that's fine. Or if you want to choose different places to have your quarters, that's totally fine too.
do they have triple bunk beds?
Triple bunk beds so that you can all be in bunk beds together.
I just assumed that we've gone through so much together.
I do want to talk to you guys about everything that went down.
Well, on an 18, yes, they do have a room with triple bunk beds.
Excellent.
We'll take it.
Okay.
Nerd, you can have the top.
This is just like the training barracks all over again.
Okay.
And
And-
reluctantly, takes the top.
And so, do you have any preference on which of the establishments you want to be in? They're all pretty.
Near
much-
probably wants to stay by the one by the stable,
Okay.
and that's
Yeah.
also probably near where Tarnish wants
Yeah,
to
that's and the sort of the druid area is right across the water there, so this would be a very central place for you.
But
guys.
we
Okay.
should go to the theater while we're here, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Why?
For culture, nerd. For culture.
I suppose it is a type of creation, not one that serves much purpose, but there is something to it. The Forge Master probably has a hand in it.
Some might say that spreading your beliefs is a form of theater. Is it not?
And
His
arts,
little twitch.
arts
get a
are
drink.
used to
Yes.
express things,
Let's get a drink.
to discuss things. Of course
Yes.
it is. Yeah.
Yes.
You could put on a play.
Have you ever acted in a play, like in school?
When we were younger, I was 11 or 12, there was a candle nights sort of performance. I was asked to be a sheep. So I put on a rug and bawed my best.
And is it that a form of deception?
You are the
Pretending to be
sheep.
a sheep? I think we're gonna
There's a
break
bit of a
them.
twitch.
I bet you made a perfect sheep.
Someone, thank you. Someone said something about a beverage. I desire ale.
Yes, let's go get ale. We had quite a successful journey here, didn't we?
We did.
Absolutely.
So
I got some scalps.
Oh, put those away.
there's plenty of different
Therapy.
places that you can go for ale.
I
Each of
need
the bunkhouses
therapy.
on the main level has sort of a common room where you can get drinks and food, or you can go over to the sort of food corner there that has more stuff.
Cool.
But you procure yourself a nice alcoholic beverage. You sort of wash the grime off your faces and the dirt from the road and any blood and whatnot, and freshen up. And then, would you like to go ahead and go over to the command center and talk to Lord Lorentz?
We were going to get a drink
Oh.
first.
Should we have something to drink?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So you want to go over to the food court area then, or do you want to just be in the common room of the?
There's food and drink in the tavern, right? Or
Yeah.
the bar we're staying at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just go there,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Shall we also get him a drink?
Lawrence?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Lead the way, Savina. Why don't you go and invite him?
Yes. All right. So I'll head over
Okay.
to.
You want to head up to
Invite.
his? You're going to invite him down to join you guys
Yeah,
instead of
for a
coming up
drink.
to his office. Okay. And the two of you are going to stay down in the tavern while she runs up to invite him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So as you head up in the command center up to the sort of top level, and you see sort of in this office area, there's a young man sort of sitting outside at the assistant desk there. The door to the main office is closed, and you hear arguing on the other side. Definitely one of the voices is Lord Lorentz. You don't recognize the other voice, but the door opens, and he sort of stomps out and turns around and says, well, you're only in charge for one more day. Once I've been handed the reins, then I'll do what I do. And so he turns, sees you, and is like, where are the rest of your companions? I was hoping to speak to all of you.
We needed a drink, and it looks like you do too. Do you want to come with?
That actually sounds like an excellent idea. Let's stop off and let my squire know that I won't be in the command center. So he leads you down the hall to sort of the prepping office, which is a much smaller little office, and his squire is there. His squire didn't come on the journey with us. The squire was sent a few weeks earlier to sort of prepare things and sort of get a handle on what's going on here at the fort. And so Lord Lorentz lets the squire know that he'll be having a drink with a couple people from the expedition. And which establishment are we going to? Is it the Pirate Inn? That's the one that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
This is
pirate.
the Pirate Inn is what they call it. So.
The Pirate Inn.
Okay, great. So you lead him down to into the bar, and
So
he sits
what-
down with you. And
What was your acting process when you played the sheep?
I got on all fours and bayed.
Oh, look, there's Savina. Hello.
Ah, yes, my intrepid young friends. It is good to see you. I want to just say that I was very, very impressed with the various things you did along our journey. I think I can trust you. There aren't many that I feel confident trusting in this fort, including my ex-wife, the current lord of this fort, the Contessa Elania Ricci is her name. Contessa Elania Ricci. And so he says, but tomorrow tomorrow we will, tomorrow afternoon we'll transfer power over to me, and then I'll be in charge and be able to start cleaning up the messes that have been left behind for me.
Was that a part of the divorce? Was that you would get power of the fort from her?
No, that happened a year ago. That divorce was something that happened the previous time that we were both deployed to the fort. I was the lord of the fort. She was the sheriff. We were married. We had some disagreements about how the laws here should be administered, and that's sort of spilled over, and we realized philosophically we were no longer aligned with each other, and so then divorced. But there is still some leftover frustration, just say. But she'll be out of our hair later in the week when they transfer out. So tomorrow night, after we do the official sort of handover of power, there'll be a celebration where basically the whole fort will be celebrating the new people coming in and the people that are leaving, and also the great victory that we just had this morning over the goblins and hobgoblins. So there will be lots and lots of revelry going on. He says, and now I feel like I should tell you a little bit more about what I'm doing here, because I think I need your help specifically. He says that originally, after his last rotation out here a year ago, he had informed the council that he did not want to be deployed again to the Twisted Lands, that he was done with that sort of portion of his career. But sort of 2 rotations ago, not the previous rotation, but the one before that, his former mentor, Lord Xotchi, had, when he left, rounded up and took with him all of the artificers that were at the fort, even those who were not scheduled to be rotated out. He convinced them that they should all come with him now. Didn't tell anybody else why, just sort of sprung it on them. That morning when they left, all of the artificers left with him. They then attacked this small village, burnt it to the ground, enslaved or killed anyone who was there, and excavated the largest deposit of focusing crystal anyone has ever discovered. Says that he hasn't been to the village himself. He's a little sad that when he sent you off to follow the drow who had disappeared from the caravan, you had mentioned the drow had been killed, and he was hoping that you would have discovered the village on your own to be able to report back to him, because he wanted to see what your reaction to this would be. But
Savina takes a shot.
But as you had mentioned, you found our missing drow having been killed by some creature, so I do suggest that at some point, if we don't go together, that I will probably send you on a mission to investigate the destroyed village.
Oh no, I'm missing Rexy. Near Tarnish. Will you guys go to the back to help me look for my rat?
Neert, you have lots of cheese on you. Why don't you go and I'll come with you? And I kind of like grab Neert to try and guide him towards the back. Come on, Neert, let's go.
I will help find Rexy, the rat.
Right now.
Lorentz, can you order us a few more beers?
Sure, I'll get around on me, because you did so well on the catapult thing. So
Awesome,
you get it
thank
up to the
you.
bar, and
Where
this is the order.
What are we doing?
This way. And I point just in the random direction.
Oh, there.
Like, don't tell them that we saw them.
What?
This way, let's go.
Okay, where is Rexy?
Oh, I think I saw him
We'll
go
find
under
him.
that table. Let's go look under that table.
Oh, okay. So
Wait. I'll go under
You're
the
now
table.
far enough away that the Lord can't hear you.
under this table right here.
Yes, we're all hiding under the table.
Oh,
under
you
the
came with
table.
us. Okay, I thought you were staying.
Yeah,
Okay.
all of us.
I don't see Rexy. Why are we under this table?
Rexy's not here.
What?
You cannot tell him that we saw the drow alive.
But
We're too
Why?
deep in.
we did see the drow alive.
We did, but we have to pretend. We have to act like when you were the sheep. Be the sheep and not know about the drow. Yes? Can you do that for me, Neert?
This feels dishonest.
But we made a promise, and if we broke the promise to Nala, that would be dishonest.
You don't have to say anything. You don't have to lie. You just
Yeah.
cannot prevent us from not telling the truth.
Correct.
I will drink my drink.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I will do. And
Thank
I
you.
will not speak.
Not a word.
Yes.
Good. What do we do?
I don't know if I trust him yet.
Not completely.
Not completely. I think we need to play it cool, and I think we need to be open to going in the future to look for this village that's been burned down. But for now, I think we don't give away our knowledge.
All right.
And I'm going to let you do the talking, okay?
Then not talking.
But not
Then
talking.
not talking.
But there will be some talking, just not the truth talking.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
We-
Rexy.
There she is.
There she
My,
is.
he is. Oh my goodness. Ah,
Oh, look, we
Lawrence,
found the rat.
we found Rexy.
Excellent.
It's all
He comes
good.
back and he sets down a few tankards of ale,
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
and he says, and it brings me to something rather delicate. So when when Lord Koshi left left the fort, they sacked the village. They took this large stone, and just to be clear, a piece of stone about the size of my fist would be enough to make an entire printing press. A piece this large would be enough to make a mage-train. The piece that they found would be enough to make all of the mage-lev trains required to connect all of the cities along the river, the 3 cities there, to be able to run all of the trains that we have planned. Now here's the problem. Xotchi and his cohorts never made it back to Forwich. We don't know if they were killed. We don't know if they have, are planning something, are off in the wildlands themselves, building something, or if they were attacked and this was taken. We found no evidence of an attack, but we can't rule that out. So part of what I'm here to do is to bring Lord Xotchi to justice for destroying the village and killing all those people, but also to figure out, where has this large crystal gone to? What are they doing with it? What are they planning to make? They're planning to make something big, I think, because in addition to the artificers disappearing with him, about half of the artificers who've come here since have also disappeared under mysterious circumstances. One entire foray out into one of the resource fields never returned. We don't know if they were killed. We don't know if they betrayed us and joined Xotchi. We don't know anything about what has happened to them. They're just gone. We've also had several artificers disappear in the middle of the night. These, we believe, were traitors, have betrayed us because they stole a whole bunch of materials and tools for building things, and they took them with them. So we think that they were probably involved with Lord Xotchi. We don't know where they are or what they're doing, and that's what I've been sent here to do, is to find that out, to find him, and to bring him to justice.
Is there any other type of tradesperson besides artificers who are going missing or being treacherous? Besides,
We do have a few other people that have gone missing in the same time period. Occasionally we've had people over the years who have decided that they didn't want to go back to the east and have fallen in love with a local girl or something like that and have run off. But we don't know for sure, the motivations of why these people are missing. I don't even have a complete list. That's one of the things that the sheriff is going to be providing me with. So far, most of the people that are missing are artificers. There's a few scouts and rangers that have gone missing as well, that were with the foray that went missing. So we don't know, have they betrayed us? Have they been killed? There have been a few other people who have disappeared during the night or something like that, that were not artificers also. So.
And has the fort sent out its own scouting parties to find where these,
Yes.
this large group might be?
Yes, my predecessor has done her due diligence as far as to investigate these things. The main thing that she has left me with is a list of names that she believes may be spies or collaborators. And so he takes out this list and he hands it to you. So I'll send you guys a text.
Niert grabs the paper and goes, I shall conduct the Inquisition myself.
Perhaps we take a little more tact when we are speaking to these other people. You tend to be very to the point and blunt with your line of questioning, yes?
And of course, we need that sometimes.
We do, yes, we do. But when they are trying to hide information from us, sometimes we need to play a game with them to get that
A
information.
game?
Yes.
The Citadel's laws are quite clear. To extract information, you begin at the end of one finger
Yes.
and a knuckle at a time.
Yes.
Begin removing until the truth has come out. In taking away someone's ability to create, we are able to purify them because they have created evil and lies, and I don't know how to deal in this world.
Take another drink. Have another drink. You'll learn, and we
What?
can use honesty to help us in our investigation. But I do think, and I think Savina, you would agree with me that we need to be careful.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many other ways of getting information. Like, there was one time when I was locked in a tower at home because I had the cow incident. It's okay. It was
Locked
fine.
in a tower.
Cow?
I was grounded and I couldn't get out. And I promised to make some cakes for the guard in exchange for letting me out. And then I didn't tell anyone. And see, you can make cakes to convince people to do things for you.
Are you suggesting that I take up baking in order to seek out the artificers that are spying on this town?
Anything. You can trade them for information or you can flatter them. There's other ways.
Okay, I will try flattery.
Yes, try flattery. Savina, can we circle back a little bit? Every time you say you were grounded,
Yes.
were you locked away, imprisoned in your home?
Not imprisoned. It was my bedroom.
But were you allowed to leave?
For dinner.
It doesn't seem to matter. She appears to have left anyway, using a disguise.
I'm just trying to see what her life was before I met her.
Oh no, it was all my fault because that time I had let some cows out because my friends wanted to play with them, and then that's when I got trampled. So I got grounded for 3 months.
For 3 months you were locked away besides meals.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't escaped, but
Okay. Well, we can talk about that more later. But I'm glad that you're free now.
Do they call it grounded because you were trampled into the ground by the cow?
possibly.
No.
I can see that scene all in my head right now. And Tarnish is being. So, Lord Xotchi, Lord Lorentz says, well, you know, I'm not asking you to interrogate people, but what I would like to have you do is, since you are new here, obviously you will be meeting people and whatnot, and I would like you to just sort of use your judgment. Are they being truthful? Do they seem like they have something to hide? This is a list of names to start with. I do not personally know any of these people, so I will be relying on, others to sort of make those judgments. So, would you be willing to be my eyes and ears and report back to me on anything suspicious that you might find? I'm willing to offer you 100 gold pieces up front, and then a 10 gold piece per week stipend, which should cover all of your basic expenses while you're here.
That is very generous. I guess we'll...
You don't have to give me the answer now. You can ponder it and let me know. But I would like to have this sort of squared away when I officially take over tomorrow.
You say that you're not sure who in the fort you can trust. It seems like there could be eyes and ears of other, maleficent kind of people. Do you think that maybe we should have a rendezvous point to give you information should we find anything, so that we won't be overheard?
Well, you still have the sending stone that I gave you before. That has 3 uses before it needs to be recharged.
Yes.
So in an emergency, you can do that. But you can always come by the command center and stop by my office. People are in and out of there all the time, and that's a secure place for us to speak. I put down all sorts of wards against eavesdropping.
Okay, good. Savina, I was just thinking, you can speak with animals, correct?
Yes.
Maybe the animals will be more trustworthy with information about what's going on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We can go to where all the artificers are and see if we can find some rats to talk to.
What is it with you and rats?
There's birds and
Cute.
squirrels and all
No,
sorts of stuff all over.
you're right.
But they get everywhere.
The rats have the knowledge.
They get into the small places.
We better get some cheese first.
Yes, go visit the cheesemonger.
He's gonna go to the bar and ask if they have any cheese.
Say, yes, we do, because we don't have a cheesemonger here. We're not that fancy. But yes, they have some basic
He gives
cheddar cheese.
gives them some copper for
Great.
Do they have
Hunk of cheese.
gorgonzola?
They have white. It is white cheese.
It'll do, I suppose.
What do you think, Rexy?
Rexy. Squeak, squeak.
Not the greatest cheese ever, but
That's okay.
it
Reaches
is
in and
cheese.
pulls out a piece from his
She
from
jumps.
yeah, from one of his rations. Well, street rats will probably like it.
I think so. Lorentz, if I may, and if it's not too much to pry, who were you fighting with?
Oh, that when you arrived at the command center,
Yeah.
that is Contessa Elania Ricci, my ex-wife.
His ex.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you mind if I share some of that information, or what was the exact fight about, if you don't mind sharing?
Overall, it was triggered by the heads on spikes that were on in the. She had put those there as a deterrent to try to scare off invaders, and I said that would not do that. It would only enrage them more and make them more likely to attack us, having seen their brethren's heads on spikes. That's insanity, and so that is the first thing that we will be taking down. I will be instructing one of my teams of medics to be out there and remove those.
They were poorly crafted. I do not think the Forge Master speaks through her.
No.
Does the Citadel have heads on spikes?
Not often.
I see. Well, I am glad that you're here to usher in a new season of peace and morality.
That is certainly the hope. That is the hope.
I suppose I should maybe get to know some of the artificers, seeing as I am one myself, and maybe I can get to know maybe where people are defecting to and get information that way.
That's not a terrible
Absolutely.
idea. You could act.
Yes.
You see him like putting it together like piece by piece and tell them you want to join
Yes.
Koshi.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Like the sheep.
Like the sheep.
Got
Yes.
it. Bah.
Oh, like the sheep. Because you would be a sheep.
Yes, I would be pretending to want to do that as a part of my role, but that's not actually what I want to do.
You see?
I think because you are trying to do what is right, the Forge Master would accept this.
Yes, well, right and wrong is very subjective in this world, but I do think in this situation that you are correct.
He starts to like pull out his book, like his tome of like religion, and he's like, puts it back. So when you say right and wrong is subjective.
The Citadel has very, very strict ideas of what's right and what's wrong. What's right is in this book. What's wrong is outside of this book.
Yes, we'll have an ethics seminar later, shall we?
Yes. Use the book.
I could use a rest. I do feel a bit exhausted from our latest travels. Should we go and turn in to our triple bunk bed, or are there other things you think we should explore?
Yeah, if there's anyone else that you would want to, talk to, you can do that now. The sort of the next sort of stage would be the party. So that'll be interacting with all sorts of different people. I'll be randomly just pulling people off my list of, to stop you, and be like, oh, I heard you were the, people that took out the catapult. So if there's anybody on your list that you specifically want to go ahead and get in touch with, we can, do that first, or we can fast forward to the party.
There might be one person. Are we gonna leave Lorentz?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, well, we have the sending stone, so
Yeah.
we'll be in contact if we learn anything important.
Excellent. And if it's not an emergency, you can just drop by the command center and come by my office.
Great.
That's fine.
So, why don't we head towards our room and get ready for bed?
Right.
Mm-hmm. We are tired.
I am sleepy. Yes,
We're tired.
Well, we were tired.
Lord Lawrence downs the drink, sort of nods and is like, okay, yeah, I can see when I'm not wanted. And he, sort of bids you a farewell and a good night's sleep, and hopes to buy you another drink tomorrow when the fort-wide celebration starts.
Like, Newt tries to fake a yawn.
Good job.
Okay, and so he heads out. So you guys can do whatever you like now.
So, Lawrence did give us a list of people to talk to.
Yes.
But there's one more person that I want to try to get in good with and
His
see his ex.
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing.
And I have great use of the scalps that you've got.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. Fantastic.
And you said they wouldn't be useful.
I throw up a little bit though.
I didn't anticipate the warlord Elania Ricci.
The Forge Master is speaking through Savina now. She is creating with the scalps that were provided to us.
Savina is a capable woman who's speaking for herself.
Sabina is still throwing up.
She's creating a pile of vomit.
Creativity, girl power, puke.
So are you guys going to head up to the command center to find Contessa Elania Ricci?
Yeah.
I don't know that taking Nirt is a good idea. And
Oh.
Nirt wants to find somebody named Kirk's Twesper, who's a contact from the Citadel in town. He's in Aarakocra. He was on the list you sent me. So he says,
It's just the list is very long, so I got to scroll through.
No, it's
What was
okay.
the name again?
Kirk's Kurx.
Okay, yep.
Twesper.
Wesper.
Savina, I'm not very good at talking to people. I get nervous. So
Oh.
maybe you could go talk to the Contessa, and you seem to be very comfortable acting and putting on different roles. Maybe you could spin a story and get in good with her, and we could all reconvene, and I could go and maybe talk to some artificers and try and build a relationship while you do that.
Absolutely. And Nirt, do you mind giving Tarnish the block of cheese? If you find any rats that are particularly friendly, if you could lure them out, and then I can talk to them later tonight.
I will do my best to make friends with rats that I cannot talk to.
Apologize for the quality of the cheese.
It's what it is.
Okay, so any of you guys have a preference on who goes first? Because we can do all of this. So, do you want to go talk to Elania first?
So she is in, where is she?
She's in the command center in the
And-
main office that you had
And
gone
Lawrence
up to.
went over there too.
Yeah, he's down the hall though, in sort of the smaller prepping office. So.
Will she leave for the night?
Well, like her quarters are actually in the command center. So you can go talk to her secretary and see about making an appointment. No.
Could we count that drinking session with Lawrence as a short rest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You guys can get a short rest, and then sort of when we conclude this little portion here, you guys eat your long rest, and then we'll have the celebration tomorrow.
Cool.
So you can always try talking to these same people if you can't, get a hold of them now. You can always try looking them up at the party.
Okay.
I might want to wait till the party.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that could be
I
a good time to do
I
that.
think I want to catch her. My plan is to not have a meeting with her, but catch her on accident.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm gonna wait. Nirt, do you want to hold on to the scalps for now because they're making me sick?
Sure. Thank you.
I suppose we could just strategize tonight and then get our refreshing long rest, and then we could go our separate ways to make connections at the party? Or do you want to go tonight to go and talk to your person?
I think a rest will do. He's not going anywhere.
Plus, then if you had to make any kind of perception or insight checks and stuff, you wouldn't have the -2.
Yeah. We would feel refreshed.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
exhausted.
So you guys turn in for the night, freshen up.
And I put Rexy to sleep with Tarnish because I heard that artificers go missing sometimes at night. So Rexy's going to be sleeping on your chest.
Just to make sure he doesn't go missing in the middle of the night. Excellent.
He's a very loud alarm.
Hello, Rexy. Oh, I guess you can sleep on my chest? Sure.
He'll squeak really loud if anything happens.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And so you can take your long rest and you get back all of your spell slots and all that stuff.
Woot woot.
And we're not exhausted.
You get up the next morning feeling refreshed. You have some breakfast down in the tavern common room, and as you step out, you can see that people are already putting up like decorations and and stuff. The party hasn't really started yet. It'll probably start around noon. And it ends up being sort of an all-day celebration into the evening. So the day is yours. Okay, so do you guys want to go just sort of wander around and look for the people that you've sort of identified?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Do you want to go to split up, or are you guys staying together? Yeah. It's really up to you. I mean,
We're splitting up, right?
I think so.
yeah, that makes sense. Sure.
Want to roll to see who goes first?
Sure. Roll these.
I got a 4.
17.
13.
All right, so Tarnish. Heading over to the artificer's corner there with all the crafting stations and stuff. Is there anybody in particular that you're looking to meet?
Tarnish is kind of like overnight was grappling with the idea of the focus crystals and like the huge amount of it and what it could possibly create.
Right.
And his mind's kind of flooding with like, what could you do with that much of it? So I think he wants to go and speak to someone who looks like they might be knowledgeable on focusing crystals.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so when you arrive down in the sort of artificer neck of the woods, there's people, working on the various workstations and stuff like that.
Put my guy there.
And you see a couple people that were on the expedition with us. So you see a couple people that were on the expedition with us, and then a few people that you don't recognize. There's a gnome. Just make sure that's the right guy.
The cheese is getting nice and soft in my pocket, and I'm looking for rats as I'm walking around.
So there is an alchemist who's a gnome who is sort of instructing a couple of the other the newcomers on how to use this advanced fabrication station here. And so he's got his goggles down. He seems very, very knowledgeable about all the different components and stuff like that. And so he sort of finishes up his demonstration, takes a couple questions from the others there, and then they sort of go off and start doing their own things. So now he's sort of free and could be addressed if he would like.
Yeah, Tarnish is gonna walk up and just say, hello, I just wanted to say that was a brilliant demonstration.
Thank you. My name's Harlan Thimblefinger. What's your name, sir?
Oh, hello. My name is Tarnish Stormcoil.
Tarnish. It's good to see another gnome over here. There's, it's sort of a cliche, gnome artificers and stuff, but
Tell me about it.
It is a classic thing. So, it's good to see that, the other people entering the profession.
Absolutely. I did have just a quick question I wanted to ask
Sure.
you. I'm new to the fort, and I was really drawn out into the Twisted Lands looking for the possibility for what the Twisted Lands can offer society.
Absolutely. There's so many resources here that can be utilized to better, everyday life for the average person.
Yes, absolutely. And I just noticed, giving this talk that you were just giving, what do you think, how can we push the frontiers? I mean, I've seen the printing press. I pull out the pamphlets and I show him.
Oh, excellent, yes.
I've seen the printing press and the trains, and what else could we do?
He says, well, I mean, I'm familiar with the various components that can be used to make all sorts of magical items. I personally specialize mostly in potions, in alchemy type things, in converting one thing to another and taking some of these raw materials, refining them and turning them into much nicer sort of tuned and honed versions of themselves. But as far as if you're thinking on the level of what else could you do besides printing press and a train, you're probably going to want to talk to, let's see here, most of the people in camp this right at the moment are alchemists, but let's see, Nestle Moore, he's an artillerist, so he specializes in cannons and things like that. He might have some insight for you. Victoria Kirchhoff, she has been here for about a month. And has been doing some really, really interesting stuff in the battlesmithing area. So she could be somebody, if you're thinking of something along the lines of what else could you do besides a train. She really works on very complicated sort of mechanical type devices and stuff that are beyond my type of work. I'm more working with the raw resources and turning them into new things like that, converting them into other stuff and refining them. She's more of a, here's a vision for some object or some device, and then making the intricate plans for it and then bringing that to fruition. She would be somebody good to talk to. Let's see, there's another one. I just heard that young woman gnome, Quinlan Cobblekin, just arrived here at the fort. Apparently another battlesmith. So she could be somebody to talk to as well. But most of the other people here are into the alchemy side of things. We do have one young dwarf who just arrived with the expedition, named Rickon Schwarzschild. He's an armorer, so that'd be another person that's is building large kind of construct kind of things that you might want to talk to. But as far as what you could do, I mean, imagination is really the limit with this kind of stuff. Once you know the rules of how to combine the various things, once you know how to make the right runes to combine your different components, you can make anything you can really come up with.
Exactly. That's the kind of potential that really inspires me to come out here. I'm looking for, I don't know, a mentor, but someone to show me what we could do that hasn't been thought of yet.
Yes. Well, I mean, I can certainly give you tutorials and stuff on any of the workstations here, but I'm getting ready to rotate back home, so I probably wouldn't be a very good mentor for you, but,
I did have a question about that. It seems like most of the other artificers I've encountered, they're very new to the fort. Do you know if there are any long-term residents who might have more long-term knowledge about the Twisted Lands?
At this point, I am the longest serving of the artificers here. I came with the Contessa, 3 months ago on the rotation, and now it's time for me to rotate out. We have a new head of sort of the artificers group, and that's Colin Rutherford over there in the big top hat. He just arrived with the expedition as well, with you all. So he'll be taking over as far as sort of managing the whole area here of constructing things.
You're the only artificer that's from the Contessa's group left?
I came with her. A lot of the previous group left along with Lord Xotchi. So any of the ones that came with Contessa and myself, there was another, but unfortunately we lost them on a foray about a month ago.
I'm not familiar with Lord Koshi. Could you tell me?
So, I'm sure you know, you're here, so everyone rotates through.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so the previous Fort Lord before Contessa Elania Ricci was this Lord Koshi. Now, I don't have any personal experience with him. I've never met him myself, except for briefly on the celebration when we turned over when they turned the fort over to us. But he's very well known amongst the upper brass that sort of runs all of the border, all the forts out here in the Twisted Lands. So he's been with the project since its very inception. He was the one who actually came up with the idea of doing the rotation, apparently. Now, I don't know the history about that, but apparently there was some sort of an incident where something happened, and they determined that the reason that that this happened was because people had spent too long out here and had been corrupted by the being so close to the source. But yes. I don't know him personally, but when he left, the rest of the artificers that I thought were going to stay and continue work and potentially, have projects that they could hand off to me, things like that, they all left too. So it left us very, very short-handed, and took us a while to get other groups of people out here to sort of replenish our
how strange
our forces, but we still have probably half as many people working in this corner as we really should. So,
did the artificers that left, did they say what they were seeking or what their goals were? No, and they didn't even tell us during the party. It was basically the next morning when dawn came. The rest of us were sleeping in on a hangover. Usually they'll wait another day or two to sort of recover from the party before they leave, but not this time. They left crack of dawn. They were all gone. And then, of course, we hear about the village that they attacked. Oh, what village? Well, I guess I'll be the one to tell you about it. Look, about a day and a half, maybe southeast from here. Yeah, that's probably about where it is. Yeah, there was a small village, locals, all sorts of different types there, and apparently Koshi's people had discovered that there was a large deposit of focusing crystals, and you know how important those are in pretty much all of the things we make. Absolutely. And so they didn't report it to us. We only found out about it afterwards, and they attacked the village and took the crystal. So that's all we really know, and then disappeared. Very troubling. Yes, it is, especially because apparently they never made it back to Forwich. So who knows what they're doing, where they're going. And can I make an insight check to see if he's withholding anything from me? Okay. Oh, 21. All right. Yeah, he is completely above board. You can tell that he's sort of like, I got senioritis. I'm about to be rotated out. No, that doesn't matter anymore. I can talk about whatever. There's no secrets I need to keep. So, yeah, that's sort of his attitude is. Well, thank you so much, Harlan, for the information. And I'd love to, learn more about the different stations at some point while I'm here. Sure. Now, do you want to have him we can sort of fade out as he starts to show you around the different workstations? Yeah, I think I would want to follow up with Victoria or Quinlan at some point, but it doesn't have to be right now. But yeah. We'll move over to another player for a little bit. Okay, so Savina, were you up next, or was Neert up next? Okay.
Next, I think.
All right, and so you're going to go sort of keep your eyes peeled for Elania.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Just walking around town,
Sure.
looking for Elania, but also if I happen to see, is it the Circle of the Moon druid?
Xotchi Berg. And if I remember, Xotchi is also on your list of possible spies to check out on.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see.
And I also tussle my hair a little bit, take my ponytail out, and put Rexy
Okay.
in my hair.
Okay. Interesting.
And I had taken the two scalps
Okay.
You have the scalps.
We got the scalps.
and kind of fastened it to my belt.
Okay.
And
All right.
walking around,
Just walking around town.
looking kind of, I don't know, tough.
Okay. And so yeah, without too much trouble, you spot Elania, and she's got her squire with her, and she's basically just saying, these are the things that that this is actually mine. We should take this with me, with us when we go, pointing out things around town that she's sort of brought with her to spruce the place up when she, took over 3 months ago, but is now sort of like they're getting ready to move back, and she's like, don't forget to take my candelabra or whatever the things that she's placed around. So, so you can go up and talk to her
So
if you'd like.
she's with the squire right now.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. So I walk up and I'm grumbling. Oh my gosh, I hate him. Lorentz is so insane and so dumb. And
And you hear a little snicker as you walk by, and she's like, have you just met him, or have you known each other for a while?
we have been traveling, and he is. Do you know Lorentz? He is so
Do I
pathetic.
know Lorentz?
Oh my
Yes. I used to be
God.
married to the man.
No.
Yes,
I
yes,
am
insufferable.
so sorry for you.
Yes, so unflexible in how he deals with things. He has ideas.
Oh
He's a
my
very good man, for
Mhm.
sure. But there are sometimes the people can be too good. There was a
Exactly.
time that a friend of ours offered to pay for us to take a riverboat ride with him. Lorentz being the most overtly nice person, not wanting to ever be in debt to someone, he hid a small pouch of money to pay our friend back. This was a gift.
What?
Supposed to be a gift. And
Oh
he
my
just didn't want to be indebted to a friend.
And so y'all lost money on that.
Well, it wasn't about the money. It was more about sometimes you just have to let your friends do nice things for you because it makes them feel good. You don't have to always even up the, the ledger, so to speak.
Okay, yeah, totally.
And what's your name, dear?
Oh, I'm Savina.
Hi, Savina. I'm
Yeah.
Elania.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm okay. I just have these scalps here
Ooh,
that I'm
that's a
gonna do something
is
with
that
them. But
looks like a bugbear and a goblin scalp.
yeah.
Ew.
I thought of, using it somehow to maybe scare off intruders, but
Yes,
Lorentz
well,
told me
unfortunately,
wow.
if you were to do that now, Lorentz would have them taken down tomorrow when he takes over for the, or this afternoon once we complete the ceremony. He'll have them taken down immediately. So,
I can't
I wouldn't
believe
even
it.
bother with that. You might want to go over to the potion shop.
Mm-hmm.
They might be able to. They might pay you for them. Goblin skin is sometimes used in some potions and tinctures and whatnot, so you might be able to
Oh.
make a little bit of coin. I don't think it would be that valuable because, well, they attack like once a month, so we end up with dead
Gotcha,
goblins
gotcha.
pretty frequently.
You are so cool. I wish you were still in charge of this place.
Believe me, I do not want to be in charge of this place anymore.
No?
I'm fed up.
Ah.
This will be my last rotation, last one. I'm not going to do this anymore.
Gotcha.
Especially in the winter. Summertime isn't as bad. But winter, it's just the worst. The short days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm gonna head over. You said the potion shop?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was nice meeting you.
You as well. And
Yeah.
I hope that you can stomach my insufferable ex-husband for the next few months.
I'll try.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Great.
So I walk around. Do I know what Xotchi Berg looks like?
Yeah, you would have had a brief description. So you know that she's a half orc, very tall, and is fond of interesting hats.
Interesting hats. Well, I've got a rat on my head,
Mhm.
so
that could be an interesting hat.
I guess I'm gonna walk around town and see
Okay.
if I can.
So, say you wander over towards sort of the Druid Grove section, which is this right here with all of these plants and stuff. The Druids have sort of taken over that.
Mhm.
And there you see Xotchi over there. She's got this wide, sort of conical hat that she's wearing. She's wearing this dress, and she's definitely like a few inches taller than everybody else. She is a half orc, so she has like fangs and like green eyes, like not green eyes as in normal person green eyes, but as in like orc goblin monster green eyes. But otherwise looks very, sort of typically human otherwise. So.
Uh-huh. So I'll come up to Xotchi
Okay.
and hi. Are you Xotchi?
I am. I see that you might dabble in the art, maybe a little bit.
Yes.
So you have an interesting hat there. Is that taxidermied, or is it? Oh, it's alive! Oh, it's alive! It's
my-
wonderful. What's his name?
Rexy.
Rexy.
Rexy the rat.
Excellent.
Yeah. Do you know my uncle Vector?
Yes, I do.
So I'm Savina.
What, Savina. Yes, he sent a letter.
Yes.
Oh, by the Owlery. Yes, yes. So how was your journey? I see you arrived safe.
It was okay. It has been chaotic, honestly.
That is the life that we live out here. It can be
Yeah.
very chaotic.
It's quite confusing, and we got attacked. Is that really what happens all the time around here?
Since I've been here, this is the second goblin attack that
Uh-huh.
has happened. I've been here for about
Goodness.
2 months. I'll be here for another month. I've heard that it is pretty frequent, especially in the winter when hunting and game and whatnot is not nearly as plentiful. They might be raiding more, looking to hit our caravans and stuff as they bring supplies in or as they're going out. But it's a little bit rare that they've been attacking the fort. That's been apparently an escalation. So,
How many times have they attacked the fort?
since I've been here 2 times, they've attacked the fort. I don't know previously before that how many times, but I have heard, several guards and say, it wasn't like this last year when we were here.
Oh my.
So, things like that.
Are they known to be bad, or?
Well, I wouldn't say bad. I mean, is a wolf bad because it hunts a deer? No, it's hungry, and so these are humanoid-like creatures, and so they can be reasoned with, they can be talked to, but they are aggressive. They do tend to, when in doubt, draw your sword kind of thing.
Oh.
So, it's not out of the ordinary that they would be attacking and be aggressive like this, but it is a little bit strange that they have been attacking such a fortified position
Yeah.
as our fort, especially since we have so many battle mages and warriors here. This last attack they brought a catapult, and that's I think the first time they've ever brought anything like that in the attack. So I don't know that they would be smart enough to build that themselves. So it's possible that there is someone supplying them and egging them on to make these attacks.
Where do you think they could have brought it from? Are there any areas nearby where they could have been building
Well,
it?
I mean, there's plenty of. You'd have to ask the artificers a little bit more about the ins and outs of construction, but there's plenty of plenty of trees and plenty of rocks and whatnot that could be fashioned into this. But where they would have gotten the knowledge to make a functional catapult like that, I'm not sure. It's not something that, as far as I know, that they sort of engage in that kind of large-scale warfare. Than more of a hit and run sort of raiders and bandits kind of
Yeah.
kind of thing, as opposed to being able to have a real strategy where they've pinned down 2 of our gates and we're attempting to assault the 3rd gate. That is new.
That was intense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, actually, the reason why I wanted to find you is because I'm thinking of becoming a druid of the Circle of the Moon. And I heard that...
Yes, the moon.
also follow that circle?
That's the circle that I myself have dedicated my life to. That is the same circle that your Uncle Vector.
Yeah.
That's how he and I became friends. Is we bonded over our common philosophy. And yes, the moon is sort of the thing that guides our path, and we focus on becoming one with the creatures around us, and so that we can transform ourselves into different creatures.
Oh, that is so cool. Would you mind teaching me more about the circle?
Sure.
Yeah.
And so we'll sort of fade out there as you guys sort of sit down in the grove, and she starts to go over the the various sort of how the Circle of the Moon is different from some of the other circles as far as their emphasis on shape-shifting over some of the other traditions. And we'll come over to Neert. You were looking for Kirks, the Aarakocra paladin.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking with another person another Aarakocra with purple wings. And they're both in the same getup. So they're both wearing heavy breastplate with this kettle helm, and each of them are carrying a pole arm. And they're having a little discussion.
Hail and well met. May the Forge guide your path.
Oh, hail and well met to you as well. And may the Forge guide your path. Your accent is a little bit strange. Are you from far off?
I have recently come to Fort Endeavor from the Citadel. I am
The
seeker.
Citadel. Yes, I've met a few of your order over the years, and I've had many interesting conversations with them. I found them to be very dedicated in their beliefs, and yes. So it's good to meet you. How can I help you? My name is Kirks, and this is my mate Jaina.
Well met.
Hello.
The Founder Vogel from Fulwich bid me come here, and I thought that I might seek you out. I am admittedly struggling being out of the Citadel's culture, as
Yes.
it were.
Yes, my understanding. I've never been there as well. Been there before. It is on sort of our list of places to travel to. But I've heard that it is very rigorous and regimented. The sort of the day by day kind of life there.
It is these people that I befriended. They seem well intentioned, but like others I have encountered, they engage in subterfuge and dishonesty in order to meet their goals. It is not our way.
Yes, I understand what you're saying. I wish that we could live in a world where everyone could be earnest and honest in everything they do. We would live in a world where people deceive each other just out of habit, it seems, just because that's what they've always done. How can we help you? We are very dedicated to our oath of devotion, and if you need any advice or any reinforcement, we're here for you.
From this conversation, has he garnered whether or not he feels good about these two? Can I do an insight check on them?
Insight. Go ahead, make an insight check.
Insight it's a 16.
Okay. With the 16, you are feeling for the first time since you left Forwich, you're finally feeling a chance to sort of relax and feel like I found some people who just fundamentally get the world the same way I do.
Okay.
So you like your friends that you've met, but you don't necessarily connect on them with
Don't
them
understand them.
Yeah. But these two, you can say, you sort of, you've in the first little bit of conversation, that sort of great weight sort of comes off your shoulders, and you're like, oh, finally, here's some people who get it. I don't have to explain. I don't have to argue with them. They just get it.
Let me speak plainly.
Of course.
The to be lord of this place, Lord Lorentz.
Mhm.
He has given us an assignment of sorts. Something about the artificers have gone missing. They've
Yes.
taken a large chunk of crystal. Lord Xotchi was apparently a madman. It is incredible that people would come out here and so close to the source treat each other so terribly and burning down towns and
Agreed.
killing people. It is unheard of.
Yes, it is absolutely unconscionable. When we arrived here about a month ago and heard everything about what Lord Xotchi had done, we sort of swore a personal oath on top of our oath of devotion. Should we ever cross Xotchi's path, we will bring him to justice ourselves.
Have you found anything? Any
No,
leads?
unfortunately, most of our duties have been either here at the fort. Occasionally, we've been sent on forays if they were on going to a dangerous place where they might need some medical attention. But we have not, unfortunately, found Lord Xotchi or any signs of Lord Xotchi himself. Mostly, we have been hearing rumors of the return of the giants. So,
Giants?
yes, I'm not sure if you know this since you're from far away, but for 1,000 years, the giants ruled out here. They were in charge of, the land, and they would occasionally raise armies of bugbears and goblins and hobgoblins and whatnot and come and assault the border cities. That's why we built the Great Bridge in Forwich, for example, is to help prevent attacks from these giants. However, the giants developed a taste for dragon flesh, and so they started hunting dragons. And well, dragons are no easy prey. They are intelligent, highly intelligent creatures. I've never met one, but I've heard tales of them. And the dragons banded together and wiped out the giants in return. It has been 100 years since anyone has seen a giant, and yet we have heard reports, we have seen tracks out in the wilderness that could only be giants. Huge, huge creatures. But we haven't seen them yet ourselves, so they're still only a rumor. This has been primarily what we've been investigating, and sort of Xotchi has been an afterthought. Should we ever run across him during our investigations, we would take him down, but we're here to find out, are the giants threatening us again, or is it just rumors?
I will keep my eyes open for giants. If I find anything, I will let you know.
Excellent.
Is there... I can't believe I have to ask this. Is there a criminal element, and he gets kind of quiet in town that might be enabling Xotchi from outside?
It is possible. Now, as far as we know, there is no official thieves guild or anything like that here. It is certainly not something that would be tolerated. We are a very small community, so if something is stolen, we deal with the perpetrator rather harshly. We have multiple jails on the premises, and the person who is most in charge of that is the sheriff, and her name. Where's the sheriff? Alright, the sheriff of the watch is Jocelyn Green. She's a human fighter. And so she would be in charge of sort of dealing with any criminals, doing investigations into any kind of theft or anything like that. Occasionally fights happen, people get drunk. That's something that, unless someone was severely injured or someone was attacked unprovoked, we usually would let that sort of handle itself. But yeah, if you wanted to find out if there are, any any underground organizations, Jocelyn would be someone to talk to. Another person that would be interesting to talk to would be Kesman Adona. He's a human rogue, and his job is to coordinate the scouts. And the scouts go out, around the fort. They, spy on the various goblin tribes. There's a couple of villages. There was the one that was destroyed, but then there's another sort of local village called Ravenclaw, and so this person, Kesman, coordinates all of the scouts and all of the intelligence about what's going on in the world around. So he might have some ideas as far as potential underground organizations in the city as well.
Lastly, is there a temple in town where I...
Oh, yes. And they just lead you around the corner, around this bush. And first, let me give you a little tour of our area here. So this is the this wall here is like a little wall of tribute to anyone that was lost, and then there's a graveyard behind it, and then the temple is that building right there.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
And so there's a bunch of clerics and paladins all hanging out in front of there. And so they lead you over there and do sort of a brief meet and greet and stuff, and introduce you to the whole group of clerics and paladins.
Okay, and Neert will, do the customary greetings, and then I must pray.
We understand, my friend.
And then he heads and does that, and
it's sort of when you go into the temple, you see that it is, as I sort of said in the thing I sent you, it's a very multi-denominational thing. It is every religion that you've ever heard of is represented in some nook and cranny in this.
Is it sort of like the tabernacle in Baldur's Gate 3, where they have like Mystra here, and then
all the different, everybody's got their own little spots, so that whoever is here that might have need to come worship, they have a place dedicated for them.
Yeah, I think with Near coming into that place, he like takes his helm off, and then he's like, and he like strides past the others, and to wherever the Forge Master's particular section is.
Excellent.
And he does his prayers and supplication and all that, and
Great.
that type of thing.
Great.
I would have given you scalps, but they proved useful elsewhere.
Scalps for the Forge Master.
Hey man,
They can be used for creation.
turn it in, you dry it, and you tan it, and it's just leather.
That's right.
So
Hairy leather.
Yep.
Gross.
All right, and so timing-wise, I think we're going to go ahead and end this chapter. Sort of, we're going to fade out as the party gets going and everybody starts to interact with it. With all sorts of people. You guys meet all sorts of different people, like all the people on your list. Not enough to really get into a conversation with them to where we could role play that and stuff, but it's very surface. Like, oh, welcome! I'm so glad to see that you're here. I'm getting ready to leave tomorrow. Kind of stuff like that. So as the night winds down and people start to go back to their various rooms, you're heading out to the pirate inn that you're staying at, and as you're going along, sort of tucked into behind the Joms board, you see a boot sticking out. A boot. Not a Canadian about, an actual boot. So would you like to
Are there three of us together at this point?
Yep.
And it looks like it's kind of like laying down, like someone could be
In the brush, prop.
not like sitting up. But
No,
okay.
but it's just sticking out.
Someone having a
And
nap.
there's like so there's sort of like flowers and like bushes and stuff in that area. So
Near just goes over and grabs the boot and then just drags whatever is in there out.
okay.
Come on, are you all right?
And a limp body is pulled out from in the brush. Let me get his description.
Newt, you have to be careful.
Yeah. right. So he's wearing a pair of black coveralls and just a white shirt. He has no markings on him as if he had been hurt. You know, no blood or cuts or bruises or anything like that. But he is definitely dead.
Call the guard. This man has perished.
So there was no harm in pulling him from the bushes.
But oh, fine. And I'm just gonna Tarnish goes and finds the nearest guard.
Okay.
And Savina is gonna run over to see if she can find Lorentz.
Okay.
I think would he be
He'd
back
be
in
up
his
in
office?
the in the command center.
Yeah.
So.
Run back to the
I'm
command
gonna
center.
do a medicine check on him.
Okay. What are you trying to do in particular? Are you looking for anything in particular? Just...
With a 7, he sees the man is dead.
Yes, definitely dead. Dead.
He will.
So then we'll sort of fade out here and end this chapter.